beautiful people, I'm RaishPhoenix, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this look for my Bratz doll challenge. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, so I've been seeing so many goddesses slay the Bratz challenge, and it inspired me. I got so inspired to do it because I really want to get better at doing makeup, and I thought to myself, like, this is a really great way to do it. And I was just really excited to do it, and shout out to the OG Promise who did it a few years back, and now it's blowing up again on social media. So this time around I decided to participate and challenge myself and do something that I haven't done before. You guys are probably wondering, Bratz and YuGiOh, how? I would collect Bratz dolls when I was younger. Sorry if you guys can hear that dog barking in the back. It's outside. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, so I would collect Bratz dolls when I was younger, and eventually I moved on to my scene dolls, but sticking on the topic of Bratz dolls. So I used to collect Bratz dolls, and when the challenge came up, I started looking for dolls and pictures of them and trying to get inspired to do one of them. And while I was looking through all the Bratz dolls, like, I couldn't really come across one that really felt like me, like it resonated with my energy. So I started thinking, like, like, what can I use as inspiration for this Bratz doll challenge? So I started thinking, and recently I started rewatching YuGiOh, and I was like, oh my god, like, let me look at YuGiOh cards to inspire me. So how I ended up choosing the Dark Magician and the Dark Magician Girl and Magician's Valkyria, I was honestly, like, I was this close to doing the Harpy Lady Sisters. I was so close. But I decided to go with the Dark Magicians because they've always kind of been like my favorite cards, and it's like when I look at them, like, it just brings me a lot of peace. So I was just like, okay, let me use the Dark Magician cards. So I was just looking at the colors on the card, and a lot of, like, the blues and the greens, like, those hues really stood out to me. So I was just like, okay, like, I want to play with warm and cool colors for my eye makeup. And the way I came up with this look overall, so I envisioned the eye makeup in my head, and then I started to kind of envision my outfit. And then as I was envisioning the outfit, I ended up drawing a sketch of myself as a Bratz doll. So I'll insert a clip of it finished here. So I drew the sketch, and right now, if I hold it up, it's still the sketch, so it's not colored in like how you guys are seeing on the screen. I drew the sketch, and after I drew the sketch, I kind of got, like, the vibe that I was going for, and then I did my makeup now, so I'm going to take pictures, and then I'm going to use this to help me draw the picture that you guys are already seeing in the future, but is currently still in blue and white. Yeah, that's how I ended up mixing Bratz dolls with YuGiOh. So that's how this is the Bratz challenge YuGiOh edition. And quick heads up, so this drawing is now available on my Society 6 and my Redbubble. I'm going to have the links down below in the description box. I'm going to put it somewhere on the screen where you guys can see it. So support your girl. Like, I'm out here drawing, doing my makeup, filming, what? Like, come through, support your girl. So go ahead and check that drawing out. It's now available. So if you guys are ready to see how I got this look, just keep watching. Okay, so for this look, I'm going to jump straight into eyeshadow. I already primed my face with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation Primer. And for my eyelids, I used the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Original. As you guys saw already, my inspiration is YuGiOh cards. So the cards I'm going to be looking at are going to be these three. Right here, you see how her hair is kind of like orange and yellow? So I'm going off of these colors for my crease. And then for the lid, I'm more inspired by, like, the Dark Magician, like these yellowish, greenish hues, and like this turquoise color right here. And I'm not really sure in terms of, like, the Dark Magician Girl, like what hues I might pull from here. but I already see really clearly what I want to do with my lid space here. So I'm going to start off with the Kat Von D Satan Center palette. First shade on the center side I'm going to use is going to be this orange right here, which is the shade Devil. So I'm going to go into this color right here. I'm going to start off with my Morphe M505 brush. So I'm going to be starting kind of like in the middle section of my lid. So about right here. And I'm actually going to go in with this dual-ended brush that I got with an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It's either probably like the Subculture or the Artist palette, I can't remember, but I'm just using this to diffuse the color out. And I'm actually just going to switch to this color, switch to this brush actually to blend out this color. Now I'm going to dip into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Artist palette, and I'm going to dip into the shade Fresh right here. And I'm going to focus that on the inner third of my lid. I'm just going to blend that into that first shade Devil. And I'm picking up a little bit more of the shade Devil and just blending it into that yellow that we just put on the lid. So next I'm going to dip into the shade Revelation right here in the Satan Center palette. And I'm just going to use this brush. This is a Coastal Scents brush. I'm not sure if they even sell these brushes anymore, but I got it in a set a while ago. So I'm just going to be using this shade to deepen the lower section of the crease color. So like right here, closer towards the crease, I'm just going to put that shade here to add more definition. And kind of start to cut our crease. And I'm only bringing it in as far as like where I started blending the shade Devil, so just like the center section of the lid right here. That's as far as I'm bringing it in. And I'm just going back in with that bigger brush and blending out Devil and Revelation. Picking up a little bit more Devil to blend those shades out. Alright, so I'm going to cut my crease now. So I'm going to use the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Concealer. This is in the shade Deep 34. I'm just putting a little bit of the concealer on the back of my hand. I'm going to go in with this flat concealer brush, again from Coastal Scents. Sorry guys, the sun is coming for me right now. I'm just going to carve out the lid. And now I'm going to fill that in. So for the inner third of the lid, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, this yellow one. I'm going to use Relic. So I'm placing that right here. Then after Relic, I'm actually going to use the Urban Decay Electric palette. I'm going to dip into this shade Freak, which is this green one right here. And I'm just using a lighter hand over where Freak and Relic are going to be overlapping, so I'm blending it out as I'm packing the shadow on. I'm going to pick up a little bit more Relic. Next, I'm going to dip into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette, and I'm going to pick up the shade Axis right here. And I'm actually just going to take the opposite end of that Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that I was using earlier. So we're just going to focus that shade out here. And I'm kind of creating like an outer V, so it's like I'm shaping the eyeshadow more like this. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but you see the shape, like I'm shaping it more like this in the corner of the lid. And I'm gonna go back into the shade Freak to kind of fill in that little area and transition and access a bit smoother. So I'm gonna go back in with the shade Revelation right here with the small blending brush. So I'm just bringing Revelation up a little bit more in the crease, just so I can accentuate the crease a bit more. So I decided I'm actually going to go in and draw the crease. So I'm going to use my NYX Matte Liquid Liner in the shade Black. I kind of want to smoke it out the tiniest bit, so I'm going to go in with this black shade Sabbath from the Saint and Sinner palette. So I'm just picking up that black shade Sabbath and I'm going in with this brush and blending it out. And this brush is from Coastal Scents again. So I'm just going to go back in with that NYX eyeliner. And I'd love to explain the shape that I'm doing, but I'm literally figuring it out as I go. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Eyeliner in Blackest Black. And I'm just using the brush that came pre-packaged with it. And I'm just going to clean up the edge of my eye with a makeup remover wipe. Alright, so I'm just gonna mimic this eye look on the other eye and then I'll be right back. Okay, so both eyes are done and I already went in with my foundation, so I used the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation in the shade, or in the number 450. Moving on to contour, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks and I'm going to use the shade Espresso. I'm just going to warm the product up on the back of my hand and then apply it to the skin. And I'm going to use the side of my beauty blender that's damped with water to blend out my contour. And I'm just going to go in with this Coastal Scents brush to do my nose contours. So that product that I had on the back of my hand before, I'm actually going to use some of it to blend out my nose contour. And I'm going to highlight with my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick in the shade Cool Golden. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the Kat Von D Lock It Setting Powder in Translucent. And I'm just going to use this Laura Mercier powder puff. I don't know what these are called. And this is the part where you guys are probably going to be like, Raish Phoenix, are you sure? We're about to look like a little kid who just got into their mother's or father's, hey, setting powder, but we going in. We're setting, okay, and we are baking. Now let me tell y'all something. I don't have any setting spray left, okay? So when we are baking, and we are setting, okay? So I'm going in with this powder so it doesn't budge. And I'm gonna dust all the areas away that I'm not baking, and I was just setting. So to add life into our face, I'm going to go in with a MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep. And I'm just going to be using this Sephora bronzer brush. Then to contour, I'm going to use the Becca Cosmetics Multitasking Perfecting Powder in the shade Deep Bronze. Then to do my nose contour, I'm just going to pinch this brush and then go in and apply the contour to set it. And for blush, I'm going to use the same contour brush, and I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Powder Blush in the shade Quiver. You can always go in with your original foundation brush, with the original setting powder that I use, the mineralized skin finish. I didn't pick up anything, but I'm just using it to blend everything out. But now I am going to go back in and dip into the MAC skin finish to dust away my bake. Okay, so I'm going to do my brows off camera. I do already have a brow tutorial out, so I'm going to link it below if you guys want to reference it. So I'm going to do my brows and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so time for the big reveal. Ooh, I have one eye done. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this on the other side. First I'm going to grab my NYX matte liquid liner again in the shade black. So it's like if you look at your eye shape, right, so your bottom lash line curves up like this. So instead what we're going to do is just bring that line out straight across. So I'm starting right underneath the corner of the lid and bringing that line in to the lash line like that. Then I'm going to take my MAC Smolder eye kohl. Everywhere else right here on the lower lash line we're going to fill in with the black. And I'm bringing it down a little bit onto the lower lash line. And then we're going to dip into that black shade from the Saint and Sinner palette again, Sabbath, right here. I'm going to use the same brush that I used before, this one, and we're going to be putting this on our lower lash line. So I like to put black eyeshadow or whatever color eyeshadow to set whatever color I put in the waterline. I'm also going to smudge it out a little bit. Alright, and then actually this brush came with my Urban Decay electric palette. So I'm going to dip into the shade Gonzo, which is this light blue right here. And I'm going to start with patting that here. Now I did add more of the Urban Decay primer potion. I added the primer potion to the lower lash line because I know that this blue has a tendency to fade and it really needs a good base. So because I really want these colors to pop on the lower lash line, I added the primer to the lower lash line. And then now I'm going to dip into the shade Urban, and I'm going to use that same brush and we're going to put this on the outer corner of our lash line. And I'm also bringing it up next to the eyeliner. And using the same brush that we did for the lid, the Coastal Scents brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Revolt right here. Now I don't have a lot of this left. Y'all hear that? That's close to nothing. So I'm just going to pick that shade up, spray it with my brush, or spray my brush with it, and apply it to the inner tear duct. Now with the opposite end of that Urban Decay brush, I'm going to use this and dip back into that black shade Sabbath and blend out the black eyeshadow a little bit. So I'm just smudging out right under here. And I'm just going to go back in with a really smaller detail brush to kind of make the color next to the liner a little bit more saturated. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sigma E40 tapered blending brush. I'm going to dip into the shade Jilted right here, and I'm going to blend that out underneath the colors that I have right here. So I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Mascara in the shade Blackest Black. Now you're probably going to be wondering, why am I not doing lashes? So I've never done lashes before. I wear glasses and literally I'm like as blind as a bat without my glasses. Like, I turn into Velma from Scooby-Doo when I put my glasses down and I can't find them. Like, that's the level we're on. So I just like to use mascara. Of course, if you're doing this look and you want to do lashes, go for it, but I can't do the windshield wiper with my glasses. I really can't, you know. Okay, so moving on to lips, I'm going to line my lips with the Milk Cosmetics All Day Everyday Ultra Matte Lip Liner in the shade Latex. And I might have to go back in with the lip liner because it's kind of blending with my foundation. But for the lipstick, oh honey, we are going bold. I am using Sugar Pill Euphoria. Now I'm just gonna let this dry down and apply my highlight. For the highlight, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit. I'm going to be using the shade Star, and I'm going to be mixing it also with Anastasia Beverly Hills X or times Razy Highlight. So of course wiping it off first, that same brush that we used to apply our lid shade and the shade Revolt, this one right here, I'm going to use to apply my nose highlight. I'm going in with the shade Star. I'm basically making like a little exclamation point on my nose. Blending it out with my ring finger. Then for my brow bone, I'm going to use the Razy highlight. I'm basically carving out my eyebrows with the highlight. Then I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills A23 highlighting brush, and I'm going to pick up the Razy highlight and a little bit of Star. Apply that to the highest points of my cheeks. And a little bit on the nose. So now that the lips are dry, I'm going to go back in with latex and kind of like, obviously like the Bratz dolls, I'm just going to go in and outline my lip. Now I know this is more on the subtle side and I didn't want it to be too obnoxious, so I don't mind that. And one final touch, I'm going to go in with my Milk Makeup Tattoo Stamp with a star. And I know this looks a little rough, I keep it near my eyeliner and eyeshadows, so this is what happened. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this out, line the star up perfectly like this. There you go. Alright, so I'm going to go get dressed and I'll be right back. Oh, sorry I didn't see you there. I was looking at my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, trying to figure out which card I'm going to play next. Yeah. Alright guys, so this is the final look. I'm actually really happy with it. As I said earlier, I really wanted to do something that would kind of challenge my ability to do makeup and kind of do something different. I've never blended like this to filth, so it was pretty exciting, and also exciting to kind of work with warm and cool colors and really come up with a look and be inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So that's it for today's look. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye guys.